Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning, everyone. Welcome to the AI Insight session. This is a webinar, and it is a key session of the National AI Challenge 2026, which our fellow participants have been going through so far. Today, we are thrilled to have students, teachers, and AI enthusiasts tuning in from all over Malaysia. This event is proudly organized by Pinang Science Cluster and sponsored by Broadcom Foundation. We will also would like to extend a special thank you to SSTP JPNPP for providing the live stream platform to make today's session possible. And for your information, fellow audience, today's webinar will be conducted fully in English. Okay. And today's webinar is packed with practical wisdom from industry experts to help you level up your AI project. So, students and teachers, tune in and listen closely as we have three amazing speakers giving you the best of their experience. So, without further ado, let's welcome our very first speaker. Our first topic for today is responsible AI. Building AI is exciting, and building it safely and fairly is what makes a great developer. Please welcome Mr. Tarun Kansal, Director of Product Engineering at Micron Malaysia, to the stage now. So for those who just joined in online today, we are now going to listen to our very first speaker, but let's give a few minutes for the technical team to help set up the screen for our very first speaker today. Okay. All right, everyone. So we are back live now, and seems that our first speaker has some technical problems in terms of sharing his screen and in connecting to the live stream. So let's continue to listen to the second speaker first. So now the second speaker is the first speaker, and we will dive in to a topic of AI and machine learning. So I believe this is something not entirely different or too new to all students and teachers, because we have learned this in our workshop previously. Okay, so let's dive into the core engine behind all the projects that you're working on right now, which is artificial intelligence and machine learning. And to guide us through how machine learns and process data, please welcome Mr. Teh Zen Rong, an R&D engineer at Vitrox.
Yeah, okay. So, my name is Nathan Rong, and I'm currently going to do the sharing on the machine learning now. And I hope that I hope that in the first introduction into machine learning, I want to have the some prerequisite knowledge in order for us to have the same in the same context on uh, knowing what is machine learning. So, what is the prerequisite is on the as you know that you learn something called drawing the best fit line during your school's days where you draw a best fit line in order to do the plotting the graph and having the line that can pass through like mostly all the points that you are measured like in the science experiments and so on. So why I thinking about this is because that in machine learning, actually how the machine learns things is actually most likely like the plotting the graph, plotting the points and then drawing the straight line between to have the best fit line. But just that in the plotting the drawing the best fit line is using our human line, but in machine learning is actually letting the computer itself to draw the best fit line itself. So how we imagine this is like this. So when you do the image classification, imagine that the points is actually the image itself. So you can have the darker point and also the light blue, the lighter point there, which is showing that there is two different kinds of image. So you can imagine like this, that drawing the line between is actually drawing the boundary between the image, where you can separate the or classify the image itself into two separate groups. So actually what in the machine learning does is not like the 2D and also not like the 3D part where you just have a plane, but actually it's a hyperplane, it's ND, it's a higher dimension plane. So that's why that some of the that's why that it can draw more, it can classify more classes of image and also classify more things and do much more things other than that. But in our context now, we will stick into the 2D part so that it easily visualize to all of you. So having this as a baseline, so we will enter the first part where what is a model is seen. So actually is when we are having the images before we going through the training phase, we need to prepare the data lah. I think this is a known fact lah. Before, where we have to have the high quality data and also clean data. So why we need the high quality and clean data is because that if just you can see in the image there, you can see that at the left hand side for the cleaner data, you can have the images plotting around and then having the patterns clearly seen for the machine for the model to be learned from. So that the model will draw the boundary line is in the ring shape for the left hand side. But if you are giving all sorts of noisy data or noisy image into the model, then maybe the model will have a struggle into drawing the boundary line just like in the right hand side. So if you have uh, all the kind of image is blend together and then the label itself also blend together and then it's blurred, it confuses the model where how this kind of image is actually A but it's actually the model count is B, something like that. So basically is the first thing first is you make sure that your data set itself is clean and also it is not confusing to you first. Yeah. So next, after you have the clean data set, then you need to do the splitting part where you split a portion of the data set in order to have a final test after the training process. So you need to do this separation in the early in the day one before you go to train the model so that you have a just like what you do in your exam. So you have the practice, textbook practice, exercise, and then you have your past year papers and so on. But you will need to have the final year, final paper so that you know that you are qualified, that you are learn something out from the textbooks and not just like learning the patterns only and also copy and pasting only. Yeah. So for the model, it's also the same thing. We need to have the final test lah. So that we can have the test set before we go to train it. And what is the validation is actually for during the training, it will has a guideline for the model to know that it is in good mode or not good mode. But and also another thing for the final test in the machine learning field is that because you don't know that what the model is learned and also how good is the model compared to the actual real situation. So not only you have having this thing, you will need to have the benchmark so that you know that how is good your model will improve from version 1 into version 2 and so on. So you need to have this record down all the things like how the model performed, how is the accuracy, and how what the model found correctly and found wrongly. Write it down, and then so that you can have the good comparison. And because in the machine learning thing, when you doing the training process, you have many parameters you can tweak out, as you can see from the thinkable machine. Where if you go to the advanced there, you will have many parameters to tweak with. So take note that you need to have to change the parameter once one time as one time, so that you can know that when you pick the parameter or maybe adding more images. So when adding more images, you add some part of it only first, so that you know that how the model behave after you putting in the extra thing. So it's like just like doing the scientific experiment where you have a control variable and also the constant. So you need to modify the control variable only so that you know that your what you are controlling is actually doing the right thing for the model in order to improve the accuracy. Yeah. So how we measure the accuracy? First is just like what we see is using the test set log. Another thing is you will also put the model into the public, right? So that the mod, so you need to test out the model in your in the final setup log, where you want to deploy your model into somewhere else. When then you need to the set up the same environment as your deployment, so that when your model is deployed, the things or the model classify the images correctly lah, and you can get the first result first lah, before you deploy it practically. So as you can see that in this example I give is the first one is the image that is very good one where you collect for your first data set. But when in the environment, the real environment, maybe you have a different lighting setup whenever you use the model, or maybe you have a different camera and it will affect the model accuracy also. And also sometimes it's even worse is that if your when you capture image, your image is a bit noisy and then also having a different kind of background and so on. Yeah. So that is all that will take note lah. Before you deploy the things, or maybe you will need to do the deploy the model into a control environment. Then you maybe you will need to take care of this lah. This is extra. So how we are sharing the, remember that I say that you need to take down all the result, right? So how we show the result is actually we are using a confusion matrix. So as you can see in the image there, you can see that it is actually a table of numbers. So where how we read this matrix is actually we read from the top left diagonally into until the top bottom right. So if we need to keep the number from diagonally to the top left until the top right, drawing a line there, having the value is actually higher is better, and also the rest is lower is better. So as you can see in this image given example, that the model for the horizontal line is actually the horizontal thing is actually what is the model answering, and the vertical one is actually what is the ground truth or the image, or what is the image is actually is. So as you can see that if the model, this example is the model is classified the image into BGA, KFP and KFN. So you can see that the model itself is actually struggle into classifying the image between the KFN and KFP image. So which means that from this matrix confusion matrix itself, you can see that what you need to improve for. You need to improve that is you need to check back the image for the KFN. Maybe the data set is a bit not good, or maybe you need more images for it. So later on, so you need to like do the improve it, and then final version is the right hand side of the version 2 is very much more better, where the diagonal is having the highest number and the rest of it is very low lah. So that one, this confusion method is very useful. So if you want to come out with the report after when you do this deployment, or maybe you need to prove to your user that your model is good, then you need to include mostly is the correct answer or the correct result from your model, and the image itself, the screenshot it, and the wrong answer also need to put inside also, so that the user know that why what is the condition that the model itself is not good at, and how you measure it. So you measure it, you say that you measure it in what kind of environment, what kind of setup, so that whenever they want to retry it or do the experiment again, they can use almost the same same setup as you to reconstruct the same result. So, and then after that, you can put in some what your comment on the limitation of your model, because you are the one who are training the model, so you are the one who are really knowing what is your model capable of. Yeah. So as a round up for to my sharing is, first you need to have a clean dataset now and a high quality one. Maybe after that you will need to add more and more image law, but you need to keep track that your dataset is actually clean enough lah. And next is you need to keep a test set for your final test lah, so that you know that your what is the model is is doing the right thing you want it to learn from, and not the weird thing lah. And next is the model you need to test also with the deployment environment, same deployment environment. And also the thing you need to take note is the change the things like one thing at a time lah, so that you can keep track at what you change is the right way to change lah, and not the wrong way. And also write out all the result and also the report, keeping it so that you know that how you come from your first model until now, so that you know that what is the future improvement for your model. So I think thank you. That is for all of my sharing. Back to MC.
Okay, thank you very much to Mr. Te Zen Rong for his sharing on AI and also machine learning. Okay, I know that what has been shared by Zen Rong just now could be more extra and also heavy for students, but this is something that will help you to learn more about AI and machine learning if later in the next phase of your life you choose to dive more and further your studies in AI, machine learning, and even computer science field. But few key takeaways that I noticed from what Zenrong shared just now is whenever students you are working with your projects, you are taking pictures, so do not just take pictures from one angle in particular. Okay, so make sure the variety of angles in your data, image data, so that we can produce better prediction. Okay, and also uh, taking hundreds of pictures but not taking it at very good lighting, good setting, good environment won't give you good results too. All right, so we have covered AI and machine learning. Now let's proceed to the second topic, which is application, product, and user interface. Okay, because right now, when you have your project, the question that you should be asking yourself is, how do we turn all of your ideas into real product that people actually love using? Okay, so our second speaker will share how to focus on users, features, and also user experience (UX). So please welcome Mr. Yu Fang Huai, founder of Clarity Place.
Hi. Hi, good morning. My name is Yu Fang Huai. I'm from Clarity Base and I'm a principal trainer from Clarity Base. So today topic I'm covering is applications, product, and UX. So my daily jobs is building things using AIs because I want to train people. So I use AI to build a lot of things so that I also can use it to train. So during these journeys, I found out a few things that is really important inside the application that I need to build. And from the ideas, I always need to start with a problem. One problem might be just good enough. And then I start with the simple versions, and then I try to get the user to use, a real user to use, and I watch it. Okay. So when I use AI to build things for me, it can be, the AI right now is so powerful, it can build many things at once. And the moment it build many things at once, there's a lot of things is happening. And before I can get user to use, myself is very confusing. I'm not too sure what's happening, and I'm also not too sure how to use it. Okay, so what is really matter after I feel many trial and errors, I discovered that in order to make things work, right, I need to start with the one clear step and make sure the one thing that is really solve the user problem and make sure it works. Okay, so instead of asking AI build many things at once, I will ask AI right now build one things, okay, at one time, and let it make sure it works first before I continue. So let me just give you an example. So let's say meet Amel. So he have a lot of homeworks that can come from many places, and every homeworks might need come from the worksheets that he been given. It might come from the chat message or something that been told in the class. Say when he had to submit the assignments or work. Okay, so because there's many things, so he have a difficulty to figure out how to when is the due date. So he need to note it down. So in the past, we probably use a paper or a journal to write it down. And modern day, we probably want to see if we can use an app to help us to record it. Okay, so we know that we may need to. There's many places that the work is assignments and the due dates coming from. But in order for us to build an app, we need to pick one first. And for this example, I'm saying let's start with the worksheet. It might be more things I have to keep track. So worksheet is a more problem to me. So I pick worksheet. The rest for the chat message, for the things, that one I put it aside so that my S is focused on one thing first. Although that the rest I might want to do it, but before I do the apps that able to get the worksheet done correctly, I'm not going to touch on that. Okay. So how is it with the AI? Today I can use the AI to take a photo to tell from the worksheet that what is this subject is about. And if there's a date, I will say there is a due date inside, it will capture it. And then what is the task? So it captures this critical information that I need to know for my reminder so that I know when is my assignment is need to submit, I can follow it. So I use a photo, then I submit it, I get the AI to read it, then it extracts the critical information. Like the max is a max class, and there's a task in the page 24, and the submission is Friday. So this one give me a clear list of when I need to submit my assignments. Okay, so just with one photo with the AI help, I can extract 3 details, and then it can just, and it become a one reminder for me. So this is how I use AI. I'm not using AI for many things yet. I just want to use AI to help me to extract the information from a photo. Okay, I will just want to make sure it works before I move on to the next. But before I move on to the next, I need to check it first. Because if the reminder is there, sometimes the data, if you use AI, we will discover that if the content might be wrong. And the content when it's wrong, how can I fix it? Because if the wrong information inside the reminder, it becomes an unuseful reminder for me. I cannot use it. You cannot say that the reminder is next week, but the actual date is today or tomorrow. So if AI help you to capture the reminder in the wrong day and you can't edit it, that's not useful to us because it's always wrong. So we need to have an ability to adjust it. So we want to see how can we fix it during either the AI capture the reminders or we can edit it. And sometimes we need to know the AI that we are using might be come from the internet. And from the internet, it might be sometimes we just don't have a connectivity. So what can we do? Can we add in? Because we cannot say that if no internet, cannot keep reminder, because we want to have a reminder. So can we add in ourselves, type it manually? So this is what the things that we want to want slowly to incorporate and adjusting our features that get a reminder done from the worksheet and the reminders. So this is just a one area. So the apps, the AI app that we incorporate, it can guess for us things, but then at the end of the day, we still need to adjust it. Like in this case, Emil have to choose it. Okay, have to decide it. So the data that we capture, the moment we take a photo, we have a lot of possibilities. In order for our data to be easy to use and safe and we need to make it simple. Let's say we just need to know that what class we want to know, what is the assignments, where it is, like at the task page 24. I just need to know where it is, so that the moment I read the reminder, I know where I need to go in, then I know where's the due date. So I just need to keep the minimum information that I really need it. The photo, the private message, or anything else about me, I no need to keep. I don't keep into my apps. So I just keep the most important information that I need my apps to be run. The rest is not required. I don't keep it. So whatever MLC is what is really he needed. Okay. Why is this important? Because this helps us to simplify our application. If the more we have, the more things we need to worry. Like this can work or that can work. We just not too sure, especially when this information is not that really, we are not too sure when we're going to use it. Okay, so we just need to keep the primary information that we need to use now, and then display to the user, and that's it. We don't keep unnecessary information or information that we think 10 years ago or 10 years later or 10 weeks later that we'll need. We don't keep that first. Okay, we just keep whatever uh, data that can help us to move on. So once you have a application been developed and you make it very minimal, and you can make sure it work on your side, then you get someone to use it. Then you start observe it. You can see, do they know how to use it? And they say, is it okay? Is it the right class or right days? All this. And if the user they found out the wrong answer, right, or wrong data information, can they change it? You need to observe how the user is really using, because the UX really is, if user don't know how to use the apps that you develop, then they don't want to use it. If they have to figure out very long time, they just say, I don't want to use it. I use back the pen and pencil. Okay, if they know how to use it with by try and error few times, very quick, very easy, and they figure how to use it, then they will use it. So we need to observe it, how they use it, and then we will see if do we need to adjust something so that to make them able to use it. We are not to say whatever we put the step, user must follow. We also need to see how user is use it, can be adopt and adjust so that they able to use it. If user don't want to follow your instructions, your apps is no one is using, then your apps is not useful and your apps is not solving the problem. Okay, so this is one of the last few steps that you always need to check. Get the real user to use it, to confirm it. Without real user to confirm it, only you, then the problem is solving only yourself, not the people that you want to solve. So ask the 3 questions. Can they start? Is this right? Can they fix it? So if you have to make something really work, right, just make sure your applications get one thing work really well. Don't put up hundreds of 20 features inside and all are broken. Okay, and especially when you give it to user just don't know how to use it. So you need to focus about the thing is applications can be have a lot of features, but when we start develop our apps, we need to start with small that things that the user really want to use it and able to use it and know how to use it. That's what I call make one thing really well. Okay, so my question to you next is, who are you bidding for? If your tools or applications or product really able to use by them, if they are not able to use it, then you have to rethink. Is it, am I miss out something, or am I add too many things? If I'm to add too many things, then I probably need to remove something so that my users can use it and solve their problem. Okay, that's all for my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Yu Fanghuai, for his short sharing to our audience regarding the topic of application, products, and user experience. So I hope that whatever has been shared by Mr. Fanghuai will be taken notes by the students when they are developing the projects. So you know that when we build something, we just don't want it to be visually appealing, but we want it to have at least one useful features that could be very very helpful for this for the community that we are building the project for. Okay, and finally, let us welcome Mr. Tarun Kansal, Director of Product Engineering at Micron Malaysia, which he will be talking about responsible AI. So previously we have talked about machine learning, artificial intelligence, and even user experience, application, and so on. But we still need to be ethical when we are dealing with all AI projects, because building AI is exciting, but building it safely and fairly is what makes a great developer. So without wasting more time, let us welcome Mr. Tarun Kansa. Okay, hello everyone, our audience, teachers, and students. So it seems that Mr. Tarun has a connectivity issues his end, so he wasn't be able to present to us. He was actually speaking, but unfortunately we couldn't hear him at all. So I guess that this brings us to the end of our AI Insight session via online YouTube streaming for today. Okay, but don't worry. From Mr. Tarun's side, we will have him record his sharing, and we will share the recording in our WhatsApp group with the teachers later on, probably by next week. Okay, but before we end, I would like to thank all of our speakers, especially Mr. Tezen Rong from Vitrox, Mr. Yu Fang Huai from Clarity Blaze, and also Mr. Tarun Kansal from Micron, uh, especially for sharing their valuable time, real world experience from their working, and also industry insights with us today. We also want to express our heartiest gratitude to JPMPP for providing the live streaming platform and tech support to connect all of us today. And to all students tuning in, remember, every big tech innovation started as a simple idea. So use what you learned today, build responsibly, focus on solving real user problems, and keep experimenting. We can't wait to see your amazing projects that you will create for the National AI Challenge 2026. And before we end, students, we will be sharing a survey form link on the screen and also in the chat. So please use your handphones, your tablet, or your laptop to open the form and submit it to us, as it will be recorded for your attendance.